Hello, welcome to Introduction to the Visual Arts. Today we're going to talk about a very famous artist, Andy Warhol. You've probably heard about Andy Warhol. His images are ubiquitous. They are everywhere in pop culture. You can find his images on keychains, on coffee cups, on t-shirts, and he's probably not as popular now as he was perhaps when I was in college, but in the 80s and probably in the 90s he was quite popular. Andy Warhol is considered to be a pop artist, not an op artist. An op art is where art appeals to the optical nerve or the optical image, but pop art refers to a popular image that you see in art. Well, the pop artists really were poking their finger at the establishment, and the established artists were outraged because how can you make art out of popular images? Well, one of the ways that the pop artists did it is they just made it big. But let me tell you about the Campbell soup can, and this is called the Campbell soup can. It's one of the 32 canvases that Andy Warhol I think it's a silk screen, or no, it's painted. He painted 32 canvases of the soup can, and it's from about 1962. The 32 canvases were about 16 by 20 inches, and they're called an appropriation. An appropriation is a really good term that you should know. It's just a fancy name for stealing or borrowing, and many artists appropriate images from other things and then do their own thing with them. So lots of artists appropriate things now. So when Andy Warhol was the youngest of 3 boys, I think, and when his mother became ill, he was very close to his mother. His dad died when he was quite young, and so his mother went into the hospital, and his older brothers, as the story goes, made him Campbell soup every day for lunch. And so that is one of the reasons why he got the idea for the Campbell soup can. And Andy Warhol, his idea behind this appropriation of the Campbell soup can, which he did many years later, is that our life today is filled with pop culture images. And why shouldn't a pop culture image be elevated to high art? And so that's why he did popular images like the Brillo pads, and there's just many things. There's much written about Andy Warhol, who was quite an interesting guy in his own right, about why he used the images that he did. So he took these Campbell soup cans and he sold them to a gallery in California. And I think he got something like $1,000 for the whole set when he made his first images of them. He then went on to do a lot of silk screening. He had a place in New York City that he called the Factory. It was like his big studio, and he had many people who would come and visit him. And they really took advantage of Andy in a lot of ways. But when he needed more money, it was about the time of the Polaroid camera. So what he would do is he would take a Polaroid picture, which is kind of like, it's the time of when you could take a film. There was no electronic camera, or there was not one where you just immediately had an image like we do now. There was always film, and a Polaroid was the first camera that developed an image instantaneously. So he would take that Polaroid camera, and he was fascinated with celebrity. So he liked Marilyn Monroe, he liked Jackie Kennedy, and so when he needed more money, what he would do is he would find one of these people, he would take their picture, and then he would have his studio helpers silk screen pictures of these people. And so he would get $25,000 for each one of these big images that he would do. And he did Elvis Presley, and he just did many famous people, because celebrity was part of the pop culture. So what we're going to do is we're not going to photograph celebrities and make Polaroid silk screens, but what we're going to do is our artwork will be based on the soup can, which is a very simple image which has changed a movement in art. It became very popular, and we still have people who are doing pop art images today. Thank you for your attention.